During this review of Doctor Who Season 1, there are going to be some mild spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything about Season 1 of Doctor Who, probably don't watch this, but like I said, they're pretty mild, so it probably won't bother you either way. Having reviewed the entire first season of Doctor Who, I'm now going to talk about that thing as a whole. So, the first season of Doctor Who I thought was quite good. I mean, it was just really good seeing the introduction to these characters, how they introduced the Doctor was fun, Susan, and how we started off with Barbara and Ian, and most of these characters I've come to quite like, and just, I really enjoyed how their adventures developed and how it was a nice little trick that they used where they couldn't actually get home because he couldn't fly the TARDIS, and then they ended up actually enjoying staying there, and I thought that was a clever usage of that. So yeah, the Doctor, I have come to over across the course of the season like him more and more. The more I spend time with this Doctor, the more I like this Doctor, and I've just quite enjoyed him. Barbara is my favorite. I really like Barbara. She's just really sweet and nice, and just also like she just seems like a good person, and I just like that performance from the actress. I don't know the name of the actress off the top of my head, but she's good. Susan, there are some things that I like about Susan, and some things that I don't like. She has aspects of her that like just are like the way she'll see something and just be in awe with it. It kind of reminds me of the 10th Doctor. Not just the 10th Doctor, but that's just like an example that comes to mind. And she's good at that, but then also she freaks out a lot, which can be quite irritating. So she's a bit more of a mixed character. Ian is a little... Peebs is a bit like headstrong for my taste. And over the course of the season, I've come to like him a bit more. He's not, my favorite, but he is... I think a good character. He just, I think, needs to take a step back, So I'm comfortable saying I, at least to an extent, like aspects of all of these characters. Yeah, this is just for you to get my thoughts on this season as a whole, and this video is going to be really light on the editing because I don't really want to worry too much about that. I just kind of want to give you my thoughts on the season. So for these season reviews, like I did with the Series 11 review of New Who, I'm just not terribly worried about how much the editing is, edited. It's going to be a lot of pictures, we're not going to be seeing much footage of this video. So, yeah, bear that in mind. This is a very bare bones video. So, starting things off was An Unearthly Child, which I thought was good. The first episode I really enjoyed. There's so much mystery there in Susan, and seeing how they get to who the Doctor is and how these teachers follow her home out of curiosity, which might be a little bit much, but I'm able to roll with it. It's just really interesting. I thought they pulled that off really well. And then future episodes in An Unearthly Child after that first one didn't nail it as well. They were entertaining enough, but that first one really was quite strong. After that, it did go off a little bit, didn't it? So that it was a good introduction. I enjoyed watching it. The Daleks. It's a good introduction to the Daleks. The Daleks are sufficiently intimidating, and there's some interesting stuff with, what are they called? The Thals? Correct me if I'm wrong there, please, because it's been a while since I've seen the episode at this point. And yeah, that was a good introduction to that. I really quite enjoyed that episode. Now I'm really thinking about that name because I don't know if I got that name right. Please tell me I've got that name right. You don't have to. It doesn't matter that much. Daleks was a strong episode. It went off a little bit too long for my taste. I would have preferred like 5 episodes. 5 episodes, I think, would have been good. Right around there. Because episode 6 really starts to drag. And I do have some issues in a couple of episodes. But overall, like, the Daleks is just a strong episode. And I do actually prefer it to An Unearthly Child. But you know what? I shouldn't actually be saying that kind of stuff because I'm going to get to that later, aren't I? Anyway, yeah. So far the season's going strong. Edge of Destruction, really short. 2 episodes. Nice bottle episode. We get to see the characters confront each other and deal with stuff. And it's just strong. I really quite like the Edge of Destruction. It's a good episode. And it's just so succinct and tight. And it just really worked for me. And the way that I really like how Barbara is used in that episode. Because I really like Barbara, and seeing her get hurt hurts me a little bit, but then how that kind of comes out of that, and she gets a little bit better. It's good stuff. Marco Polo is good. It's a good episode. I did like it. It's, it is a missing episode, so I listened to it. But it's entertaining. It's an interesting listen, and hearing what goes on. I would have liked to see it, and it just felt like it's kind of like very much a classic like first Doctor episode, because it's kind of long. It's missing. Sadly, I can say that. And it's a period piece, but it's good. It's a good episode. I enjoyed the listen. It had some little twists and stuff, and mostly it was fairly straightforward. But it was a good listen, and I enjoyed it. The Keys of Marinus, I also quite enjoyed. It's a little bit uneven at places, but it is a good episode, and I just kind of like seeing the places that one goes, because it goes to a few different locations, and we just see more of the characters and stuff, and yeah, that's good. The Aztecs is quite good. I really like the location, and just this one is a 4-part episode, so we don't waste a ton of time. We have enough time where we can understand everything that's going on, and then we can just have an actual story that doesn't feel dragged out. So I thought the Aztecs did a really good job of just having the story, and we get some good stuff with Barbara, and you're gonna get this a lot, but I really like Barbara. Okay, I just do. So that's my thing. And then after the Aztecs is, I believe, what came after the Aztecs? Oh, right. So the Sensorites came after the Aztecs, and the Sensorites is long, and so okay, let's start with the first episode. I don't think this is a popular opinion, but I really like the first episode of the Sensorites. It's one of my favorites of this season is the Sensorites, because I just not seeing the face of the alien, and just not knowing what's going on, and just the whole mystery of them going onto this ship and being like, oh, what's up? This is really, really weird. What's going on? It was just very entertaining to watch that play out, and it was so mysterious, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the episode, and I thought it was solid. And then after that, we saw what it was, and then everything kind of went really downhill, and the episode went on for, I think, 6 episodes, unless I'm mistaken, and it was really dragged out, and I got really bored after that. So I really liked the first one, and I really didn't like what came after. It got increasingly worse, and there's a lot of stuff about that episode I just can't with. Yeah. After that, we get the Reign of Terror, which is a little bit of an improvement. We go to, what is it? I forget what it's called, but the Reign of Terror. So in the Reign of Terror, we'll go to the French Revolution, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And that is, it's also a 6-parter, and I think a little bit of that one's missing too, if I recall. Yeah, because there's some recreated episodes, but it's got some entertaining stuff, and I think it would have done better as a 4-part story, because I do think it goes on a bit too long. But it is entertaining to to watch, and it goes on a bit too long. But I just enjoy seeing these characters together. I think all these people, the Doctor, his granddaughter, and Barbara and Ian, they have good dynamics, and just watching them on screen together is fun, and seeing them together across the season was fun. It was a solid introductory season for this show, and for these characters, and for its setting, and basically for everything that went on, and I thought they did a good job on that. And yeah, so my point is just, and this is really just a review of the season, so I'm just giving you my thoughts, is that this was a solid season. Overall, I thought this season was really entertaining, and we had a great introduction to these new characters and who they are, and their dynamics are really good together, and most of the stories were just solid throughout, although some of them had little hiccups, and there were a couple that weren't quite as entertaining. But I just thought this was a good introductory season to this show, and I thought they did a good job of having just a consistently high quality for a lot of its run. And I thought this was quite an entertaining season, and I'm going to give Season 1 of Doctor Who a rating of 7.75 out of 10. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about Doctor Who Season 1. I enjoyed it. It was a good introductory season. At this point that I'm recording this, I've already actually seen all of Season 2. And actually, I'm recording this late enough that I'm a little bit further than that. So we're going to be moving on to some classic Doctor Who in Season 2, where I'm going to give you some weekly reviews of those. So next Sunday should be a review of the first episode of Season 2, which is, of course, Planet of Giants. So you'll be doing that hopefully in 1 week from now. And yeah, we can discuss then what we think about that episode. And then we're just going to keep reviewing classic Doctor Who. This is going to go on for a while. There's lots of classic Doctor Who to talk about. It's not like I'm going to be stopping anytime soon. I hope not, at least. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically all for today, folks. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and have a lovely week.